I need to talk quick before I forget what I'm going to say, right? So basically I was brought up as a Jehovah's Witness from birth to 32, right? My grandparents were Jehovah's Witnesses. So anyway, it was all just religious brain and complete mind control, and just, I didn't even think I was alive. I thought I was just my mother's arm, right? I was a robot, obviously. Skin robot, they call us. So when I got away at 32, obviously it's just such a big shock. Even the United Nations says that it's torture, it's legal torture. To be thrown out of a religion like that is actual torture. So you can imagine. Now that's never, no justice has ever been gotten me for that. In fact, the Jehovah's Witnesses were allowed to have me arrested anytime they wanted. Social work were allowed to steal my children because all the Jehovah's Witnesses stood up for them and tried to make me kill myself and stuff like that. So all along, my whole case, I wasn't given any rights. I didn't know I had human rights until I was 38, right? So basically, 2012, I'm fighting for my daughter back in court, and they wouldn't give me her back, and they kept her in care and were abusing her and legally adopted her to the abuser. Now, there was a children's protection ordered by the Sheriff Court to London, but in the end they said, we're just going to leave it with London. That's not legal. And moving my daughter when she was being given her back in Scotland, obviously we've all seen the paperwork, was illegal. Abusing her in care was against all the United Nations rights of hers. And now they crushed my spine, took all my teeth, took 2 teeth out and left space where they've not put the fillings in as well. So I've got all angles of my mouth. I've been in pain because they won't fix them. They won't give me enough money to get a carer to be able to pay for, get to hospitals, and they've been giving me like so many different tablets. They're plying me with morphine rather than getting to the root of the problem. Because I said to them, if you gave me extra money, I wouldn't need the morphine. I could just go swimming every week. And because I'm allergic to lights, I have to go in a swimming pool where there's no lights and there's only one, and it costs £15 to get in. And it's £30 for me to get there. So if you allowed me to have that money, I wouldn't need the morphine, but they wouldn't give me the money. So obviously they want me to be on morphine. The judge, when he took my daughter, he said, I realise that separating the relationship between you and your daughter is equivalent to the death sentence. So he's basically saying, I have given you the death sentence. And then he said, but then obviously if she's being given to a woman who is abusing her, I think they would say, well, that's a death sentence plus crucifixion. Because when I actually left the court, I actually said, this must be how Jesus feels to be crucified, because you couldn't kill me any more than you've killed me. You've taken everything there and left me with the crucifixion. But all my daughters, my daughter had never had any children rights. None of my children have been allowed their rights. I'm not being allowed any disabled rights, or a mediator, or anyone who is actually trying to help me. Instead, they are causing me to take illegal drugs. Causing me to take drugs. Well, I mean, right now I'm on drugs and I don't have a doctor. So I'm on these serious drugs with no help to regulate them. So there's medical neglect, there's negligence. They've sacked me from all the practices because I'm too stressed. They said, why can't they just give me something for my stress then? Or help me go swimming? That's all I was asking for, And I said to them, I'll work. They won't let me work because they said I'm too ill. So there's negligence, malpractice. I've been sexually assaulted by the authorities. No justice for that. The doctor and the social worker not performing their duties and protocol. And when I go to any of these, disabled rights, or they just tell me the same old thing, write to this person, that person. But if you can't read and write properly, you can't go writing. So there is no really, what I'm trying to say is, from the United Nations from the top right down to the very bottom, the man on the street, the social worker, or the police that comes knocking at my door, I said, the social worker phoned me and she doesn't remember what's wrong with my health. So I said to her, listen, instead of you phoning me and me having to explain to you every time what's wrong with my health, why don't you get my doctor's notes? No, we're not allowed to. I said, well, you need to get me another social worker because I don't have the time to explain every single time because I'm dead breathless. What's wrong with me? I need solutions. So could you get me another social worker? And she said, all right then. She put the phone down and then the police came to the door and said, we're worried about you, we're going to break the door down, right? So you get what I'm saying. I'm saying is, you know, I think no matter what I say or do to them, if I wrote to them all this, which I have anyway, previous times for the past 4 years, you're breaking my human rights, you've never given me justice, you've used my whole family like slaves. It doesn't get anywhere. They just come in with wider eyes like, what are you fucking on? That's all they want to know. What are you on? Give us some of that. So the moral of the story is we're at a place where it has been legally proven and we have legal evidence that we are not under the human rights anymore. We're not under these disabled rights. They mean nothing, right? So these lawyers that are being paid and all the rest of it, they are being paid to actually take the piss out of you, one. Two, they must be doing other work in the background and not doing what they're supposed to be doing because, you know, what I'm saying is it's a Nazi system where you have no rights. So I think that's the way everyone's got to look at it because at the end of the day, I've seen the top to the bottom of the richest people being thrown in jail or killed or things taken off them. No one is safe. So at the end of the day, I guess that's really my story. And I don't encourage anyone to protest. I don't encourage anything like that. I think that Mother Nature is the one that's letting everyone know that what she does and doesn't like. I'm fully happy to trust in Mother Nature. She'll cause sinkholes to the bastards. She'll cause hurricanes to those who are making these laws void and null, you know. And what else can we do? I would rather live on £1 a month than be treated like that by people and they pretend that they're actually there to help you, but they're actually there taking something from you because they are so deprived of joy, of sight, because they're so unhappy. When you're unhappy, when you just spend all day nitpicking at other people, you don't realise how degenerate you become, you know. Whereas when I was going through my trials, I was forced to help other people and that got me through, you know. So the moral of the story is these people are fucked up for themselves. They've not really fucked up for the public. It's their way of saying, we're melting, we can't do it anymore, you know. And that's all really. Just, you have to make up your own rights, your own laws. Like I'm saying to myself, I have a right to peace and fucking quiet. So if police come knocking at my door for no reason, or social work, or doctors start phoning me and saying, okay, we've got an appointment for you, that's not a peaceful solution. I don't want an appointment with the doctor. I want the things that they messed up in my life fixed. And until that happens, I have no quality of life, so there's no point in living. So I will just let myself go down to £1 and eat Ryvita until I die, because I know that the other way is dishonour to myself. I'm dishonouring myself by letting them take the piss out of me on the phone, you know. And at the end of the day, it's them that's sucking something out of me because I'm the happy one, you know. So, thanks for listening, and we should have a goodbye party for the United Nations and the lawyers and the judges and the barristers and the courts, because, you know, they are only in positions by the higher power to look after the rest of the world, and because they're not doing it, it's like they are in the sinkhole already. So, it's just the way the cookie crumbles, in it. They don't care about the earth's rights. The earth doesn't want to be sprayed with poison, believe it or not. You know, so they don't care about the earth's rights, they don't care about your rights, and unfortunately they don't even care about their own rights or what their own needs are, because they're so upset by their own evils. They've got no joy. It's like if you go out and murder someone, it's going to be hard for you to lie in the park if it's your first time, to lie out in the park and relax. You're going to be hyped up or whatever, worrying what, you know. That's what they do every day with their tongues. They just murder people. So they're sinking themselves deeper and deeper into hell. I think they call it positive manifestation. They're manifesting people hating them every day. You know, it's terrible. And they did it for an eye, whatever that means. Bye.